Hey there, today I'm going to talk about the Nike Alphafly 3. Nike have confirmed a release date of January the 4th, 2024. They've confirmed the weight and the specifications, and in today's video I'm going to go through what we know so far about the Nike Alphafly 3. I'm making this video because I previously made a video previewing the Nike Alphafly 3, what I thought it would be like, specifications, cost. I did some polls, and now that Nike have confirmed the details, I thought I'd do a quick update video going through what Nike have confirmed. As always, there are chapter markers down below, so you can skip on through to the bits you might be interested in. Let's get going. I don't have the shoe to hand yet, so I'm going to have to rely on other people who've done some testing. Eliud Kipchoge won the Berlin Marathon 2023 wearing a pair. Kelvin Kiptum won the Chicago Marathon and set the new world record. Sifan Hassan, well, she won London and the Chicago Marathon. And there's been various tests carried out by various people. And to this point, in that respect, we'll have to rely on Nike's data. The Alphafly 3 follows on from the Alphafly 1 and the Alphafly 2. And all of the three shoes contain the same elements, three elements in particular. There are the Air Zoom units at the front that provide some spring. There is the ZoomX foam, and there's also the carbon fiber plate. And the new shoe contains all those three elements. The shoe that will be released on January 4th, 2024 will be in this prototype colorway, which I happen to like. I think it suits the really nice, clean, simple lines of the new Alphafly 3. But of course, other colorways will come on in well before the Paris Olympics in the summer. The upper of the new shoe is very similar to that of the Alphafly 1 and the Alphafly 2. This is the Alphafly 2. There's an Atom Knit 3.0. It's missing a pull tab here, but it's still got the same booty construction. They talk about lofted heel pods, fly knit heel pods. They look very similar to these heel pods, and the looping, the laces have a sort of loop through, but largely the upper doesn't seem to have changed very much. It's down in the sole where most of the changes have happened. The midsole is where the major changes are. There's a continuous bottom along the shoe, and the pods are fully enclosed. In the previous versions, you could see a sort of slot down here. The plate is apparently a little bit wider, and you can see on the heel that it's cut back, sharply cut back, less projection, less weight. And when you look at this shoe, there's actually a deep slot here and here, which I'm hoping won't catch too many stones. The outsole is similar in terms of the compound at the front to the Alphafly 2, sort of same sort of pattern, but it's much flatter on the ground. It's a sort of flat and very deliberately so. So there isn't this sort of break between the foot pods and the rear. There is a more pronounced rocker, which I think will pivot it further forward. I'm very much welcoming that. And there is, of course, a much lighter, lightweight outsole to reduce the weight of the shoe. Not having run in the shoe, I can't tell its running feel. What Nike say is that they were trying to get smoother transitions. By flattening out the base, they really wanted smoother transitions between speeds. And they also wanted to improve the arch support. There's a very pronounced feeling under your arches in this shoe, which I happen to like in the Alphafly 2, but I think it came in for a lot of criticism, and they've changed both those elements to improve the running feel, and I think to cater for a wider range of runners than the Alphafly 2. Nike have reduced the weight of the Alphafly 3. They say by 15%, and it comes in at 218 grams for a men's size 9. I'm guessing that's the US men's size 9, against 249 grams in the Alphafly 2, which had gained some bloat. Now, for me, I've tested the shoes that are on the table here. I take a men's UK size 12, US men's size 13, EU 48. And the Alphafly 1, it's 271 grams, 9.56 ounces. And then the Alphafly 2 had considerable bloat. It went to 308 grams or 10.86 ounces. And if you compare that to the Vaporfly 3, this is 242 grams, 8.54 ounces, which is considerably lighter than the 1 or 2, and actually lighter than the Alphafly 3. In the last video, I took a guess at how heavy the Alphafly 3 would be. I thought it would be somewhere between the Alphafly 2, which is bloated, and the Vaporfly 3, which doesn't have the foot pods. So I thought the Vaporfly 3 would ultimately be lighter. It turns out that based on my size, I guessed it would be 260 grams or 9.17 ounces. And doing the math on Nike's figures at 15% less, it's coming in at 261.8 grams. So yeah, I was on the money with that particular guess. And but still, the Vaporfly 3 is going to be lighter than the Alphafly 3. It's the footpods. In their various press releases, Nike have made a point of saying that the new shoe will do 250 miles. I think they're obviously reacting to Adidas and their Adizero Evo Pro 1, and it's not a one run and done shoe. They're saying effectively it will have the same longevity as the previous Alphaflys. So yeah, good news on the sustainability front. In terms of grip and traction, well, it's largely unchanged. Nike say that the lightweight foam is going to mean increased traction and grip. It all sounds nonsense to me. There won't be great traction and grip. There's a high stack. It's really mainly for running in straight lines. High stack shoe on bends is tricky. But the outsole is not as slick as Adidas had on their shoe. But yeah, as with all high stack fast shoes, tricky on the bends, mainly for straight lines and taking a bit of caution. I mean, but yeah, if you're doing a lot of twisty stuff, these aren't the shoes for that kind of running. The use case for the shoe is marathon running. I mean, obviously, I suppose that's the obvious thing, but also for training. There's a lot of evidence to show that carbon plate shoes used in training lead to you feeling less beat up. Because I run sort of a lot of shoes, and I will run marathons in a couple of them, and then I will downstream them to training, which is largely what I did with the Alphafly 2. I didn't actually end up running a marathon in the Alphafly 2, but used a lot of it in training, and I'll continue to do so. And because Nike have said it'll last more than one marathon, if it's going to 250 miles, I can't see people doing 9 marathons in the same pair of shoes. Maybe they can. But certainly I will use them for a couple of marathons if I get hold of a pair, and that's the likelihood, and then downstream them to training. It'd be really interesting to find out if you're planning to get the Alphafly 3 and how many marathons you think you might run in the shoe. In terms of performance, well, the Alphafly has quite the track record. In 2018, in the Alphafly 1, Eliud Kipchoge, in very controlled circumstances, broke the 2-hour barrier, 1 hour, 59 minutes and 40 seconds. And in 2022, in the Alphafly 2s, he broke the world record in Berlin in 2 hours, 1 minute and 39 seconds. Now, the Alphafly 3 already this year, Kelvin Kiptum broke the men's world record at 2 hours and 35 seconds in Chicago. And Sifan Hassan ran the second fastest marathon of all time for a woman, but she also won in London, and she also won in Chicago. So the shoe already has a pretty good pedigree. What I'm really excited about, I'm really excited about this. Kelvin Kiptum has announced he's running Rotterdam, which Rotterdam, Valencia, for me, based on the evidence I see in front of me, look to be the 2 fastest marathons. So yeah, he's going to be running Rotterdam in these shoes in the spring, and I'll be watching that with keen intent to see. I think he'll break the world record. He certainly has the potential. If the weather is okay, he's the potential to break the world record, and he certainly has the potential to go sub 2 in an actual race. After the last video where I compared the Alphafly 3, the preview, to the Evo 1, I carried out some polls on YouTube. One of them was which shoe you thought you would run faster in, and 58% of you thought you would run faster in the Alphafly 3. And that'd be kind of what I think I'd run faster in the Alphafly 3. Time will tell. Then I carried out one on cost. Now, I got cost dramatically wrong. I thought that the cost of the shoe would rise because it's $285 and the Evo 1 was $500, and I thought Nike would use that opportunity to go up a bit higher in the Alphafly. So I put a poll saying I thought it'd be $330 and asked what people thought. 32% of you thought it was going to be higher. 55% of you thought it was going to be lower than the $330. You're correct. And 13% of you made the fatal mistake of agreeing with me. But yeah, it's dramatically cheaper than that. The cost is really interesting. There was various things saying that the new Alphafly 3 would be $275. That's incorrect because it's announced on Nike's website. The Alphafly 2 cost $285, €309.99, £279.95 and 370 Australian dollars. And the new Alphafly 3, it's unchanged in terms of dollars at $285, it's unchanged in terms of euro at 309.99. It's £5 more sterling for some reason, 284.95, and it's not yet launched as a price in Australia, as I checked. But yeah, I mean, for the money, or for the, yeah, I'm really surprised it didn't rise. I'm really pleased. And in fact, there's no reason it should. It's made of largely the same materials, but, you know, manufacturers. So yeah, chapeau to Nike for not increasing the price. Brett Schoolmeister from Nike was quoted extensively in the media. And what he said was really interesting. He said he wasn't going to make light of the $285, but he used the same argument I'm always using, in that if you're going to be running the New York Marathon, you've got flights, you've got hotels and all of those, and that for most people, certainly for me, I would regard the shoe is expensive and it's not the premium end of shoes, but for me that would be worth it. And he talked about the performance of the shoe and whether, you know, somebody will run sub 2 in them, and he said a lot of things will have to go right: the right athlete, the right day, and the right conditions. And I think that is absolutely true. But he said for Nike's part, they think they've made the right shoe, and well, the best they've done so far to date. But, you know, an Alphafly 4 will be coming out, and an Alphafly 5, my guess, further down the line with other changes in the future. Should you buy the Nike Alphafly 3? Well, it will go on sale on January the 4th, 2024. That date's in my diary. It'll go on sale on Nike.com, the Nike app, and some specialty stores. For me, I don't know if I can run faster in the Alphafly 3 than the Vaporfly 3. And I think the foot pods, certainly, or the lack of the foot pods, and the lighter shoe that is the Vaporfly 3, helped me in comparison to an Alphafly 2 and an Alphafly 1. I think Nike may have moved the foot pods a little further back. That might help me significantly, because I'm more back towards my heel on towards the front in much of my marathon pacing. So I'm really interested to try those. So yeah, January 4th, 2024. Catch them if you can. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it would be great if you hit the like button. As always, there'll be lots of stuff in the description below, and I'll happily answer any questions you put into the comments. There'll be a big blue subscribe button popping up there. Some red videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.